more to go. time. He does this every day, man.
Why are you embedding him? Just keep embedding,
I don't know,
bro.
bro. Man.
Go. One more to go.
Welcome, everybody, to the Onward VR Master League. We are back from a week-long hiatus from the high-intensity, high-octane action we have come to know and love in the Onward VRML. And we are here for an exciting game. In particular, Nomad's debut cast of VRML. Nomad, excited to have you alongside on the co-cast and desk today. How are you feeling?
Oh, I am just excited. I am shaking in my couch right about now. I am so excited to be casting this match. 2 diamond-tiered teams playing away, and I get to do it with the legendary NightFiree. So I am just excited.
Just a guy who likes watching some good old high-quality Onward action, and I think that's what we're going to get here today, Nomad. I mean, we did plenty of diving into the stats offline. These are 2 diamond teams that are coming in with, you know, some experience. You know, both teams being around since season 11. Dark Tidings, you know, both teams really riding a lot of momentum that they gained over season 11. They came into that season strong and played well, and now they're here in season 12 looking to make a mark for themselves. I mean, Nomad, what are your thoughts about both of these squads before we kind of dive into the picks and the bans of today's matchup?
Well, looking at these teams, they've already, like I said, they've been experienced. They've had a good chunk of season 11. Let's take, for example, Pantheon. The former captain, the founder, is a hologram. If you look back in history, he played for the Raptors, so you know you got a strong captain right there, strong player. And when it comes to Dark Tidings, you have what used to be the core members of Scared Hitless. Again, another strong team, and Dark Tidings having only a few matches underneath their belt in season 11. They've been working really hard in the offseason, and just over the course of half a season, really, in total, they're already diamond. You know they put the work in. You know they're going to play strong. And like I said, I'm just excited. We know we're going to have some strong Onward action here. So seeing the map number 1, what it's going to be, and seeing how they like to play, oh man, it's going to be action. You better get the clips ready, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Get prepared for some good quality VRML action. And speaking of, we do got to get into these pick bans. For those not in the know, Dark Tidings is the home team. Pantheon is the away team. The home team gets to ban the first map. The away team bans the second. Dark Tidings have banned San, and Pantheon have banned USS Quest. Dark Tidings are then home team, so they get to pick the first map of the day, and they have chosen Shipyard. And we talked a bit, Nomad, offline about the bans and the map picks. I mean, are these bans of strength or weakness for these teams?
I would say they were bans of weakness. For example, Dark Tidings banning Sand. They have yet to play Sand this season. Meanwhile, Pantheon, they are going undefeated. They are 3 for 3 already. When it comes to Pantheon banning USS Quest, again, weakness, because Dark Tidings, they are 5 for 5. They're also undefeated on USS Quest, whereas Pantheon, they played it once, and unfortunately they lost 4-0. So both these teams doing not so great on these 2 custom maps. They're banning it just to get it out of the way. Hopefully they can play for stronger maps.
Yeah, and Shipyard, a custom map in itself, you know, so we are at least getting one of those custom maps for us here today to kick us off, to say the least. And it does, you know, leave a pretty interesting map pool available for these teams to get into for maps 2 and 3. Already sort of thinking about the potential behind something like Snow Peak or Abandon, Quarantine. There's a lot of range that's out there, and a lot of close quarters that has been either picked or banned out already. So should be a interesting back half, but We got the start of our first map of the day, round 1, kicking off as we dive in to the action. Again, thank you so much for tuning in here today, and a shout out to Nomad in his first cast. Hope everyone in chat enjoys hearing him. You'll hear a lot more of them.
Switch over to the other one.
As Nomad and a handful of new casters start to dive into the casting realm of VRML. You'll start to see them hosting matches by themselves over on VRML 3, and as a reminder, be encouraging it to them there. They're still learning the ropes, but no one's learning the ropes here, that's for dang sure, as we are out the gate, shots ringing true as Shoot This starts to ring over through Cargo, and Crazy Dave drawing some attention through the middle.
Yeah, Crazy Dave trying to deny the access to center building, which is a critical building on this map. You need to have control of it, especially the rooftop in a lot of these objectives here. So having Crazy Dave there, all this pre-fire, denying access, a really strong move on his half.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Shoot This continues to swing wide through the Cargo section. This objective, definitely a tough one to get to. It's one that really the defense can tuck in and wait very patiently for the offense to push to. You see positions like Anthony Dead and Absent Minded Froth all the way back on objective, but Absent Minded Froth not so safe. They're taking shots all the way from spawn, I believe, from that spawn roof.
Yeah, and taking down Professor is critical because he is the sniper of the team, and he is a crack shot. So
Just
taking
check your
him down
frames
will
afterwards.
be quite the play.
Don't
It'll be
restart
critical
it, just
for
check your
this
Onward
Dark
afterwards in
Tidings
case
offense.
it's over.
I'll restart my. Yeah, I'll let you play on.
Yeah, and Absent Minded is fortunate. I'm just hearing, listening to some comms there. It seems like they're talking about some technical issues, but Absent Minded is fortunate that they haven't been clipped just yet. That laser from it looks like William Dunce is just barely missing the angle there over onto Absent Minded Prof, and Kalenon's going to try and check this line of sight as well, I'm sure, up on that top story, which is going to be a risky move to go for as Absent Minded is on the hunt.
Yeah, Kale here looking for Phenom, but
Middle building.
he's not going to
And one
find it.
second floor middle.
Ooh, what a nice
dead.
shot by Shoot This onto Jester. Only a down, though. Needs to confirm that kill, though.
Does get a big pick, though, to get rid of that upper story defender. Opens up all of this cargo crate to work through, so Shoot This has a lot of room now to sort of start to press up towards the objective. And, you know, it makes positions like Freaks and Phenoms a little risky just because you kind of work around them almost. There's maybe even a threat for a cap if Shoot This navigates correctly.
Yeah, there is.
Oh.
But Absent Mind Professor,
Roof's down.
not quite there. Care Bear level out does get the nice headshot onto him. That does open up the OBJ building there.
William Dunce, I think, gets down to fall damage. Shoot This scoops up another pick, and Dark Tidings are in a 5v3 with Anthony dialing in over to these stairs. Maybe they can find a pick themselves, but they do drop off that line, and Shoot This will live another day. The res comes over from Kalenon onto William, scooping him up from that fall damage. And the push continues for Dark Tidings. 2:48 left on the clock, so plenty of time to work with, Nomad.
Oh, yeah. And with a 5v3, they are feeling confident about this. And as you said about William Dunce getting down by fall damage, this map, you have to be extra careful about where you're landing on these staircases. You can and often will get down or just take damage straight up from falling. So it's not the first time to see someone go down by it. Certainly won't be the last.
Wow, Care Bear gets past those shots. Phenom was trying to clip the ankles of Lovelot, but can't find those shots, and they are now in, again, a dangerous position, very close to the objective. Shoot This manages to find Phenom. Freaks now rotating around looking for the refrag and finds it. Freak able to get one on the board as Lovelot tucks back in. There's a hectic bit of fire here as Freak cannot move out of this corner.
Yeah, Kalen laying down suppressive fire onto Freak there, trying to keep him pinned, trying to keep him from rotating onto the objective to stop Care Bear from capping. But Freck won't have to worry about that as William Dunce gets a really nice pick onto him. It's all down to Anthony Dead, who is on a objective.
Yeah,
I can't not see.
It's that ultimate position, right? You know, the end all be all. There's no way that they can get the cap without killing Anthony. Maybe a flash. They could flash Anthony and cap. That is a play that's possible, but certainly looks like they're going to go for the gunfight challenge through the doors. William comes flying in, the trade inside, and Dark Tidings lock up round 1 with 3 left on offense. That's a good start for their map pick.
Right there, great offensive push. They took their time, they went for the picks, which is exactly what you need to do for a map like this, where there's so many different places for the Volk to hide. You have to get those picks. You have to whittle away their defense before you think about a move onto objective. So great job by Dark Tidings, and a good hold by Pantheon for the time being.
Yeah, they're definitely competitive there, but now they need to come out with a solid Marsoc round of their own, and hopefully they can solve any tech issues they were having. We kind of heard them discussing that in the round, but they now have one disconnected from lobby, and so hopefully with a quick restart they'll be able to pop back in and we can dive in to our next round. Maybe this little pause will give Pantheon some time to kind of recalibrate as well, because that is it's always tough to lose that Volk round at the very start of a series.
Oh yeah, having Volk advantage just straight up is critical. So losing your Volk round, regardless of the map, it is a tough blow to make, but that does not mean you're out for the count. You can still win your Marsoc round. You can still cap.
Yeah,
you can make
true.
up for your loss on Volk just by getting a cap, because you get 2 points instead of just 1 from elimination.
Yeah, there is a easy path back to victory here for Pantheon. Well, I say easy, but not so easy at this level. These two teams, they are very skilled players. They understand these maps well, and any round 1 will not be easy. I mean, Dark Tidings there found some very key picks that set them up for that play. If they don't get that kill on the top of cargo, they don't have all of that cargo ship to then kind of wreak havoc down onto Freak and William Dunce and everybody that they ended up killing over on that side. There's no even option there because the cargo ship is locked down. So a couple of those early picks really allowed for that play to come through for Dark Tidings, and maybe Pantheon can do the same, scoop up some early picks of their own. I don't know, but a interesting round 1 start, and I never base the entirety of a game on the early rounds, so we'll see really what kind of series we're in for once we get into rounds 3 and 4, because then teams start to get comfortable. They kind of start to get into the rhythm, and that's when we might see some cap attempts come through.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I know even for myself, whether it's a casted match or not, the first 2 rounds, I have the jitters.
Yeah.
I am not by any means locked in, dialed in to kill or cap.
Yep.
It takes a few bolts to go over my head before I myself am just in the zone to play. So knowing these players, it could be the same. You never know. Everyone's different.
Yep. And we are still just waiting on that 5th to reconnect. I'm taking a look if there is an official timeout being called or not. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, because they don't need it. They have reconnected. And it's not a sub, right? That was
Anthony Dead. He was
he was the last one. Yep. So just a quick restart and reconnect, and Pantheon have all 5 back in lobby, and I suppose a good as time as any to go over the active rosters for today. Over on Dark Tidings, we have Care Bear Lovelot, Kalanon, Crazy Dave, William Dunce, and Shoot This One. Over on Pantheon, we have Freak, Absent Minded Prof, Jester, Phenom, and Anthony Dead PC. And those seem to be the usual customers for both of these squads. I have casted both of these teams, but I don't know if I have this season. But the names are familiar to me with both of these rosters, and so it'll be interesting. Again, this is going to be I think this is going to be a very good back and forth that we're in for here today, Nomad, and I'm very excited to really get into the meat of this series, really see what these teams are going to bring once they're warmed up, and well, it's just going to take a few rounds, and I think we're finally going to get in to round 2 here of map 1.
Right on, right on. And speaking of the roster, there are some players on Pantheon team that are actually new to this season. Venom is actually one of those players indeed. This is her first season with the VRML, so
Oh, wow.
being with a team like Pantheon, you know, that's always exciting to see.
No. Dude, my controller's effed up. I am so slow.
It looks like
I'm so slow though.
a steady
I can't
three-man
run.
push onto the ship from Pantheon. Make it
wow.
a four-man.
Very fast as Jester, Phenom, and Anthony come flying into the crate, and they force shoot this off of the cargo crate. He has to drop back. They have the overreach from Kale Anon and team as they scoop up this over-aggression from Pantheon, not checking all of those potential angles. And Kale Anon's position is a very dangerous spot that, if not rooted out, is going to be trouble. Shoot this. Wreaking havoc in close quarters as well. Pantheon getting shut down on the aggressive rollout here.
Oh, yeah. And as you mentioned, Kalon in a very powerful position, but also a very common position. So I can expect Anthony Dead as well as Absent My Professor to be keeping their lasers on those windows there, because I imagine they'll expect Kalon to peek out there and should be able to get a pick off of that. Whereas shoot this, not the most common spot for this particular objective, but still a spot nonetheless. And a nice shot from the sniper Professor with a quick refrag from William Dunce.
And that's always a good indicator of a very coordinated team, is how quick do refrags come through. You know, you look at a team like Beginners, who have, you know, historically won a lot of Onward games. They are very good at finding refrags, and Dark Tidings with a very quick reaction shot from William and Kalen on holding their angle. Dave finding a couple kills over on that board as well. End up grabbing a very solid defensive round. And, you know, I think Pantheon were going for a play there, right? You know, they had 3 quick go up cargo, and they also sent 2 on the other side as fast, but they just died right away.
Yeah, you can tell that they want to send a 3-man team to try and control as much of the map as possible, to deny as many rotations out away from objective as possible from Dark Tidings, but unfortunately, Dark Tidings were able to get to their positions and get those early picks that are just devastating against a team that's well dug in like Dark Tidings. And for the 2-man team to try and go south, obviously, when you already lose your 2 guys in the ship or wherever they, some places where they were, it's just tough. It's tough to come back from that. It's not impossible, but it is indeed tough.
You have to reroute. You have to kind of reassess the plan, kind of try and gather back, okay, what can we do now with 3, because our 5-man push did not work out, or our 5-player push, excuse me, did not work out. And so I'm curious to see if we do see an adjustment from Pantheon on their next offensive round, or if we're going to see another fast attack, because that'll be kind of a good indicator of them trying out some different plays. But that was definitely a play there, Nomad. I mean, that was an attempt at a quick push up to the objective.
Yeah, they certainly wanted to unleash any frustrations they may have had in round 1 right away. So we'll see what they do here. At Phantom pushing out pretty hard. She's in the middle of the ship already, in a can be powerful spot. It's also a fairly common one, but still powerful nonetheless.
Yes, it
Crazy
is.
Dave.
Wow.
Once again, Crazy Dave is doing that pre-fire in the middle of the building there, so.
Yeah, and I mean, what do you think the purpose of that pre-fire is? Just to draw the attention? Because I don't really think he's grabbing a common angle down there for this objective.
It's not so much to gather attention, more to deny entry into the building. It is a common building to play in. It's a powerful building to play in. So to do so, to deny entry there, you know, it just makes it that much easier for Marsoc to move into objective and try and win the day or the round.
Well, we'll see if Dave can find some kills here, since they've given away some of their location. They're now rotating up onto that second story, where they could find a couple of different angles onto some of this defense. Freak maybe expose their absent-minded prof. There's a slight angle. If Jester peeks up there, Crazy Dave could find a lot of the defense in their sights, but it also does require a rather risky peek to sort of be able to check these angles, one that absent-minded prof, I'm sure, is sort of looking for. And so it's going to just come down to the coordination and the execution phase of things. Right now, Dark Tidings very much still in the setup phase, as they just kind of poke and prod at where potentially this defense could be.
Venom might get a pick onto Shoot This if Shoot This just creeps over just a little bit more. There's a sharp angle that Venom has, and that's why her spot is just so powerful. It's just completely dark in there. You can hardly see anything in there. And oh, just like that.
Wow.
Prime example of why it's such a good spot.
Look at that. Such a quick refrag. And that's because of the good communication. William Dunce instantly reacts off his teammates' rooftop comms of the position there of absent-minded Prof. And, you know, a quick one-for-one trade to keep things even here as Dark Tidings continue to hunt for more. Care Bear, Love-A-Lot finds Jester way in the back corner, picking him off from this rooftop. And now the final three of Pantheon have to sort of readjust and tuck in, and off those rotations they nearly get caught out as Dark Tidings are getting set up for their attack. That's a good pick.
Oh, a nice pick onto William Dunce from Phantom. That's her second kill so far this round.
Could be a third here if they find the one up on the roof.
Oh, Care Bear Love-A-Lot almost got his laser onto Phantom there, but she is aware of Care Bear's position.
This is big. This is a very important round. You do not want to let this series get away from you here if you're Pantheon, and it can very much happen if it gets 3-0. That's a long comeback to have to push through, and no team wants to be put into that position out the gate in a series. And so to get 2-1 is big right now, and Phenom is in a very... And I wonder if Love-A-Lot heard that as Phenom tucked in.
I imagine he would have heard it. In this game, you can hear footsteps from a long ways away, so it would not surprise me if Care Bear Love-A-Lot did indeed hear Venom's footsteps.
Yeah, I'm just curious. They don't seem to be concerned about a potential push up the stairs to their left, which Phenom could do. He would very much hear that on the metal, but either way, it's, again, a bit of a waiting phase here as, again, Dark Tidings set up with 3. Kalanon and Crazy Dave are slowly working their way in from the south side as Dave clears angles. Freak able to get Love-A-Lot up on the roof just as Love-A-Lot was rotating in for the push down, probably off the callouts from Phenom.
Oh, yes, indeed. That is a powerful pick. It's a necessary pick for this team here. They needed to take care of Love-A-Lot. He was too much of a threat from where he was and where he was going to go. I imagine that Kalanon and Crazy Dave were probably going to try and be the distraction, so Love-A-Lot could just push in and get that cap.
Yeah, and I always talk about the timing being the obviously most important part of the execution phase, and it's something that a lot of teams, you know, at the end of the day do struggle with. It really is a testament to a good team if you can sync every element up of your play at the same time, and maybe Love-A-Lot just a bit out of position there. I'm not sure. Either way, the angle that Freak had on Love-A-Lot is super tight, so I don't blame them either for getting picked up by that. But regardless, the synchronization not quite there on this Dark Tidings push, and maybe an opportunity for Pantheon to put one on the board. 50 seconds left. They're going to have to push soon.
Yeah. But they're so close to objective, though. It just takes one good push and a good use of utility, be it smoke or flash.
Yeah, true.
They can get the captain.
Very true. And the smokes are coming in. And the flashes. Kalanon's trying to swing up here. They managed to get past one line of sight, can't get past the second. Anthony shuts down the entry. And now Dave, with 27 seconds left on the clock, has to push up here.
Yeah, he's got no choice, but he's got 3 members of Pantheon to contend with here. Even think about capping. Is he gonna be ready for Freck?
No.
No.
Freck's position really paying off there, finding 2 very obviously important kills. The first to shut down Love-A-Lot, and that last one to shut down the cap. But the real indicator here is a good round from Pantheon, so potential for them to start swinging a bit of a comeback. That was 3 left alive on their defense as they do get on the board here. 2-1 on Dark Tidings map pick.
And that just shows the discipline.
Yeah.
Freck, even just him being a spot that I personally have not seen played too terribly often. So using off-meta spots and being disciplined with just staying tucked in, holding an angle onto objective, and wait for the Marstock to come to them. Because ultimately, that's all you have to do is just wait for them to come to you, and then you just gotta shoot them.
I mean, that is the sort of origin of the Volk advantage, right? You literally just have to let the teams come to you, so you have an advantage when you go on to Volk, and that can be heavily debated at the high tier because some teams excel at attacking players that are stationary and sitting in positions, and so you know, again, it comes down to the play, how it's set up, and the execution, and the variety of Onward makes it so that you always get something different every round, and we'll see what Pantheon do on their attack as we go to that same objective but switch sides. Dark Tidings on the defense, and I mean, already look at the difference on this defensive rollout. Dark Tidings getting aggressive on the roof, and Levelot, like you said, diving inside already. That's what that pre-fire was, to shut Levelot down. They could be a very big element here if they push in behind, as one already goes down for Pantheon.
Yeah, Kalon being in one of those powerful yet popular spots, shutting down, I believe that was Venom. Yep, that was Venom that he took out. So already you're down a point, you're now down a player, but still not impossible, as there is the delayed refrag from Anthony Dead.
Still though, Levelot is right here. If they swing out this door, it's Anthony Dead gone. But not for long. As they push up, this opportunity does go away, and this position becomes a little bit dangerous.
Indeed. Kind of curious about Levelot's rotation here.
-1 ship.
Nice pick there from Freck on to shoot this. And
There, finally, Levelot's coming in.
apart from Levelot, Pantheon have a just huge control over the ship, more or less. It's just Levelot, really, and that's it. The ship is theirs. But they first have to kill Levelot.
And they have no one on it. They have nobody defending objective. Levelot's trying to crash back. Anthony is racing Levelot to objective as Levelot comes flying back here, and lots of shots ringing out towards them. Jester's going to find the kill. Pantheon defend against the over-aggression from Dark Tidings and tie things up 2-2.
Yeah, you can see that Dark Tidings, they're itching for the victory.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
hey, let's end the map. Let's end it as soon as possible with some aggression, which I do see quite often from Dark Tidings, but unfortunately this time around, it just did not work out for them. And now it's a tie game, 2-2.
Wow, what a great return here from Pantheon, as they had a bit of a bumpy start off those first 2 rounds. It was looking solid for Dark Tidings, but that last Marsoc round was very clean from them and well played. You know, they didn't linger too long in any one position. They got their kills and continued to move forward. I mean, again, nearly a base race, which I don't think I've ever seen in Onward, you know, as one races to the objective with the defender behind them. Again, an occurrence that you almost never get yourself into. But that aggression from Dark Tidings, a little bit too much there. Like you said, eyes on the prize a little bit too early. And especially at this stage, you know, when we're getting into the later weeks of the season, I guess the mid weeks of the season, the games are going to get real competitive. And so you can never let your guard down. You know, you always have to be coming in super locked in every round.
Indeed, this is actually the last week of the first map pool. We're a third into this season here, so
Crazy.
with MMR already more or less established and stabilized, we are now seeing these closer matchups, even right here, right now.
-1 middle, -1 middle.
Even though we have a couple picks now coming up from Pantheon on the Tidings, making it a 5v4.5.
There's a guy in that spot.
So William is down, but, you know, it's almost a little bit beneficial just because William can actually call out a couple of different positions. He's managed to ID Absent-Minded Prof, who rotates off of that spot. And they are resable, so this could be turned back to a 4v5, but at the moment, Pantheon have managed to shut down some early setups from Dark Tidings. Anthony Dead, in particular, catching a very long angle. Although, I mean, look at, I don't think I've ever seen anyone shoot all the way through those 2 crates, underneath that, into that door, into that room. It is a very interesting angle to be taken up, and one that really worked out there to catch that aggression from Dark Tidings.
Yeah, very sharp angle, and a practiced angle.
Yeah, for sure. And here comes the rotation.
Yeah, Shoot This is trying to go for that revive, and I don't think he'll be contested. Freck does not appear to be watching that angle.
A quick pickup. Nobody falls to their death, as I almost see William Dunce stumble off the stairs. That's always a sad occurrence when you res somebody and then they don't have any more heals, so they fall, take damage, and die. But not the case there, and we're back into a 4v5. William's going to take control of the head, and just like that, we're back into a 3v5. A kill coming in there as Absent-Minded takes the head off of Shoot This. No res available there.
Yeah, you know you're in a dangerous spot when the sniper takes a PKM. If your sniper takes a PKM, you know that things are about to go down.
But in a flash, we have 2 kills come in from the south, both from that south push, and William Dunce suddenly has a lot less to worry about as they work up. Phenom, in particular, is a threat in that corner. Freak, obviously, something to worry about. There's obviously a play to be had here if you come up from the underground, but nobody does that. Very rarely. No, very rarely do you see it executed, and it is because there's positions like Jesters that can just simply camp that exit to the doorway, and C4 placed everything there. So Jester is actually defending that route, so I say there is a route there, but there definitely is not. And, you know, despite Pantheon being whittled down a little bit, they have everybody in the right positions. The only trouble is I think William Dunce, oh my gosh, they could almost ID Jester here, but they're just not taking that full peek.
Yeah, and it's only a sliver of Jester that's available to be shot, really.
Yeah.
But still a very doable shot nonetheless.
But this is a good 3-person setup. They do have...
Dunce might see Jester here. His laser's just over the head.
Yes.
There we go. There's the pick. That now leaves the tunnel wide open. The C4 is now, I wouldn't say deactive, but no longer a threat, I should say.
Right, but to the Pantheon's benefit, nobody is pushing in from that underground. Kalanon does peek up on the roof and actually IDs Phenom and doesn't commit to the shots, calls it out to the team. Will could easily peek over this hill, over the top of the roof, down onto Phenom in the corner and have those shots, as could Kale, and they swing out and find those shots. So down goes Phenom. Freak relocates inside, and they are caught up in a 1v3 as Dark Tidings are looking to get around back on the board here.
Yes, indeed, and I like Freck's spot. He's laying prone underneath the half-open garage door, trying to see anyone who's going to approach from the ship. Now, at this time, there does not appear to be anyone coming from the ship, so he will have to bounce around a bit, just because as last man up, you want to deny that cap, especially now since a cap will end the map right here, right now. And with smoke coming in, he's going to be even more paranoid, trying to make sure that cap does not ever happen.
Yeah, you can see the checking in multiple angles. It does get you into that panic state when a team starts to push in on you, and especially with this case where Freak probably doesn't have an accurate kill count, so not even sure how many players are going to be pushing in on them. You know, right now they could be assuming it's a 5-person push in onto this objective, but that is not the case. It's 3 swinging around, and they're going to have angles as William Dunce finds the line. Freak goes down, and Dark Tidings take back the lead after getting tied up and go up 3-2.
Indeed. And I'm just peering over the KDR here, and at least from Pantheon's side, it's pretty spread for the most, or it's more even. Like, I mean, you're seeing 4-4, 2-4, 2-4, 2-4, 4-2. And there's still a relatively close kill count for Dark Tidings, 3-3, 5-2, 1, 2-2, 6-3, and 3-5.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a lively game, you know, definitely a good bit of back and forth here, as that scoreline does dictate. No caps have come through. It's been like relatively clear. Everyone's found a pick. There hasn't been a 5-0 round yet. Of course, that could happen as we do go into our next round shortly. Dark Tidings will be going on offense. Pantheon back on the attack, and it is interesting to see so many MARSOC rounds getting traded here on Shipyard. It makes me wonder, you know, if we do get to a longer range map, I think we have sort of an equal potential for Marsoc to be able to win rounds based off of the playstyles that we're seeing here today. You know, it's been a lot of kills and not a lot of effort to go for that cap.
Yeah, and being a tight quarter map, you're kind of expecting the action, the more kills and caps. And into your comment about range, I'm gonna say it right here, right now. I am expecting Snow Peak.
Okay.
Both these teams seem to play Snow Peak a fair bit, sorry. And yeah, I'm expecting a Snow Peak either in map 2 or map 3. I'll even put money on it. Or I'll put my channel points on it.
Yeah, if you were a betting man, that's what you would have your points on. And all right, we'll see. We'll see if the caster mojo is accurate for you here on your first appearance on VRML. Let's see if it's going to be treating you right or not. We'll see if this round treats Pantheon right or not, as Absent-Minded Prof kicks it off with a good start, sniping down one and getting control of the roof. Levelot's not safe as their head gets blown apart by some shots from Absent-Minded again. Kills coming in from them, and just like that, Dark Tidings clipped down to 3. Pantheon off to a great start, the exact start they needed to keep this thing close and potentially tie it up 3-3.
Indeed, and Absent-Minded Professor really showing why he is the sniper of the team. And a nice pick from Freck on Crazy Dave. Oh no! As I mentioned earlier, you have to be careful about the heights, the vertigo.
It was all planned.
Yeah,
it was all planned. He just wanted the express path down to Phenom.
He meant to do that.
Exactly. He just needed to get down onto that bottom floor. And Phenom reses. William Dunce is here as we have a trade on the backside, and suddenly Will's the only defender left in a 1v3. It seems they recognize this as they swing back to the objective just to make sure nobody's capping. And off this is rotation. There's a lot of open space for Freak to find an angle, and just like Dark Tidings, Pantheon with 3 left alive tie it up 3-3.
Yeah, and Dark Titans are lucky that Anthony Dead traded.
Yeah.
If he had won and not got, it was not a trade. If he just got the kill, there could have very well been a cap.
Yeah.
Obviously, William Dunce there, being an experienced player as he is, I believe he played for Rome for a number of seasons, like back to season 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Understanding that he's last one up, understanding the critical components of the defense of objective, and did the right thing of basically just getting himself shot and giving the team, his opponents, 1 point as opposed to 2.
Yeah, it was very good that they crashed back onto that objective space. If they hadn't, there would have been time, like you said, for a potential cap to come through on that objective. And so that would have been it. That would have been Dark Tidings map pick lost, and Pantheon set up for a favorable map 2. But we're not there yet. We're into our round 7, and yeah, this series, I think we're in for a good couple of maps left for us today. If this is any indicator, this back and forth has been, I mean, both teams deploying their own strategies, right? I mean, Dark Tidings, Pantheon on that offensive attack were very fast, and they've shown that their offensive strategies seem to be pretty quick paced. And so going into these next few maps, these next few rounds even, Dark Tidings are going to have to adjust to that and start to recognize that pace of Pantheon, maybe play a little bit more reserves, not commit to that aggression, because when they have, it hasn't worked. And so it's all, that's also a thing I always like to see. Do teams adjust as they're playing? That's always a really good indicator of a very top tier team.
Yeah, and I can expect some adaptability from both these teams, because you cannot be a diamond team if you just are, playing bluntly and just saying, I want to play this way only. I do not want to change the way I play. It doesn't happen at diamond or even master.
Yeah, it's you have to have that a tool belt filled with a bunch of different tools in order to be able to attack teams at a high level. And interesting to see Dark Tidings able to get that early pick. Again, Pantheon going for the aggressive push with at least one of their defenders. The rest are still tucked in, and so it really was just maybe a bit of a prodding, a bit of a recon defensive position. And with everyone else tucked in, I am curious to see how Dark Tidings push, because I feel like every round we've had, it's been a lot of early picks, a lot of mid-range picks, but not a lot of kills around the objective itself.
No, there's been one round already where there's some deaths on objective, but it's
Yeah.
just been that one round
Which one?
on the ship objective.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're seeing these two teams. They're vying for control of the map.
Yeah.
He or she who controls most of the map in their heads will win the round, which it's not entirely
Minus
wrong,
one.
but sometimes it does blow up in your face.
Absent-minded prop again with that sniper rifle, finding those kills. Really important to kick off these rounds for Pantheon, and be able to come back like that and tie this up 4-4 really does a lot. Now they've lost their rooftop control, so they don't really have a good idea of positioning down inside the
1 second,
objective
sorry, Blue.
space. But they have identified the sniper, and so maybe Kale and Nunn can do some damage as they rotate back up to this 2-story.
Yeah, but Professor is in holding these tight angles in these small windows here. It's gonna be kind of tough to pick them off, but you know, there is a way though, especially if you take the south and go between the
moved.
truck and the guard post and just kind of get underneath of them. You can still take them out, or you can just do it that way. That works too.
Wow. The challenge. A big risk when you take rifle against sniper like that, especially with how good Prop's been shooting. But Love-A-Lot wins, and a big win to set up Dark Tidings to enter into these final 3 defenders, who again are very tucked in. Anthony dead, waiting for a push towards objective, as is Phenom under ramp. A common position though, and you know, something that I would think Shoot This would check if they did push up towards the objective.
Yes, and I'm kind of surprised they do not have someone on the upper deck of the 3 cargo containers. That is a powerful position to be in for Volk. If you're defending this particular objective, you have pretty good oversight over everything. So I imagine Shoot This is going to be spending some time trying to clear the ship. It will be unwarranted, and it will just kill time, which is to the benefit of Pantheon.
Yeah, very true. 2.5 left on the clock. And oh no, Dark Tidings seemingly having a disconnect, so we're into a 3-3.
Ooh, you hate to see that, especially on a round 7.
Yeah, no kidding. Definitely not when you want it to happen, but it has, and now they have to work with it as that kill comes in from Phenom, almost a team kill.
Oh.
As Anthony nearly connects onto Phenom as they rotate back in. And just like that, it's a 3-2, a very quick little pickup, and a nice rotation from Phenom to dodge any potential refragging. A lot of C4 utility, lots of stuff getting thrown out here now as we get into the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think Anthony Dead's shots were more for celebration, to say, hey, good job on the kill, as opposed to saying, oh, you might be the enemy.
Like a pat on the back.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And Shoot This is expecting to flank here. But it's not going to happen. And he's going to be extra careful now, as he's now the lone attacker in a 1v3.
Yeah. 1v3 with a limited amount of time on the clock. Not going to be an easy thing to overcome, especially if they make their entry down from that ramp. Both Phenom Freak and Anthony all could have lines of sight onto it.
But certainly not impossible. That's for certain.
No, nothing is with Onward.
I'm just taking a look at Shoot This, and I do not see any utility on him. Oh, a nice pick by Freck.
Yeah, I think all that utility came out a little bit earlier there with the smokes on objective and whatnot, and Dark Tidings cannot put together a map win on their map pick. Pantheon weather that early storm and bounce back, taking map 1 4-3, and now we go into that second map pick. Pantheon get to choose it, and you're suggesting that we could be headed to the likes of Snow Peak here. Will be there is some close quarters that they could go to if they wanted to keep this theme of close quarters up, but plenty of range, and it appears that map 2 is definitely going to be a little bit of that range. While Abandoned is big and does have those long-range angles, it does also have its close quarters moments. It feels a lot like a map like Quarantine. I always make that comparison, but I think a good map plays a lot like Quarantine does, and Abandoned certainly been a fun one to tune into so far this season. Very much looking forward to watching these two teams duke it out for map number 2 on Abandoned.
Yeah, and this is going to be the battle of the snipers. Absent Mind Professor and Kalanon are both snipers for their respective teams, so it's going to be who has the better sniper on their team, who can work best with their sniper on their team on this map.
And so far, we've seen some very good shots from Absent Minded Prof coming in, some key shots that have definitely set them up for round wins. And so, makes sense that Pantheon would pick something where Absent-Minded Prof could continue to excel. Not to say that the rest of the team hasn't been playing well. They certainly have. They've found plenty of kills. Like you said, the KDs are relatively spread out there. But still, should be, again, that battle of snipers. Who is going to be the one that ends up finding those long-range shots? And if it is going to be Absent-Minded Prof, then Pantheon have set themselves up for a Map 2 potential win, which would lead them to that Series W. And, of course, we play that third map out, and so maybe we go back to close quarters for Map 3, as we kind of look ahead into the future. Do you think Dark Tidings going to try and get away from the range?
They could, but then again, like I said, it could be Snow Peak, and Snow Peak is just such an appealing map for them, because
Yeah.
I think they only lost Snow Peak once or twice, and they played it just about every match they played so far, if I'm not mistaken. So
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so that's a high chance then that we do end up on Snow Peak for Map 3, but we're not even close to being there yet. We still got a handful of rounds to play out here on map number 2, round 1. Kicking off as Dark Tidings go on defense and Pantheon on offense. We start with the objective at Hotel, or what do you call this 2-story?
The center one, I call it the apartments, or center apartments.
Yes, that's what it's. Apartments. No,
There
I've heard it.
are,
They got the left back spawn.
yeah, I think there's more callouts for that than there are fingers on your hands. So
Oh, and already
Well,
we're
that's
into
not
the fight here as Kalanon catches Anthony Freak, has charged forward up through the midfield and managed to get that refrag, and I don't think anyone was anticipating Freak to push so quickly up through that center area, and definitely utilizing their spawn to get set up early into a position and really playing way ahead of the rest of the team here. Freak, if anything, needs to put a bit of a pause and not get too extended forward. You can, of course, clear several different angles and set up for the push as they are looking now into those apartments.
yeah, you can see Absent Mind Professor just sticking around spawn with his rifle, trying to find those picks. And meanwhile, we do have Venom
I killed
and
somebody
Jester
near
in the
3
canyon. They may bump into William Dunce, though. Oh, it's no longer a may. They will bump into
Yeah.
William Dunce.
Well, May is still definitely possible if they don't end up rotating this side. Oh, William drops the grenade at the hand.
Oh! Drops the flashbang. I wonder if he's on quest. I know some quest players do have some issues with tracking
no issues
when it comes
there.
to utility.
No issues with that flash as it comes flying up and over, and a great double kill locked in there from William Dunce.
Yes, great work indeed on the second flashbang. We'll just overlook the first one. We'll pretend it never
Absolutely.
happened.
A little fumble, a little butterfingers. Doesn't hurt anybody. If anything, Dark Tidings set up for a great defensive round here. They managed to kill 3 of Pantheon's attack and got themselves set up for a kickoff to a nice 1-0 lead on Pantheon's map pick. But, you know, possibilities here for Freak are certainly present. If they can get level out, there maybe even is a path to the objective undetected. So we'll have to see if Absent-Minded Prof's going to connect here with Freak and they can try and put something together and push forward here.
Yeah, But I see there's a substitute here with Dark Tidings. Crazy Dave has now entered the picture on this map here, I believe.
No, I think
Who
we had
did
two
he-
crazies.
Did we have? Or maybe I'm just going crazy.
No,
Who
yeah,
knows?
no, we had. Someone's going crazy here. That's for dang sure.
It's probably me. It usually is.
Maybe Levelot getting a little crazy himself after getting killed there, not even seeing Freak as the smoke covered their defensive position. A good pickup from them to kind of even the odds just a bit. Still advantage to Dark Tidings as Dave is holding a sort of end-all be-all angle. They are going to have to cross there or do a long rotation, which is also being covered by the likes of William Dunce.
Building, tank building.
Yeah, I'm liking
right
this
side.
defensive spread here. They're covering pretty much every approach to the objective here. So they'll have to get picked off some way, somehow, in order to get access to objective. But even then, shoot this is close to objective. He could actually be the buffer zone. He can fill in the gap for any one of these two that gets shot down.
Oh, and just a great crosshatch there from Dave and William Dunce. Yeah, as they set up for the eventual push through the center. Props looking for some sniper picks, but no one's exposing themselves. No one really available to be picked up there. And I think that flash did connect as they tucked back in and with a minute 45 kind of reassess what their plan of approach is going to be with only a minute, with only themselves left in a 1v3.
Yeah, I'm just watching Professor here, and his experience as a sniper is showing as some rookie snipers, not all of them, I'm going to say some, they often just keep to their rifle, and when they're last man up, they just stick with the rifle and move on. Whereas Professor here, he's picked up a dead teammate's M249, realizing it's going to be close quarters combat. That LMG is just too tempting of a gun to just leave alone. In something like this, it's always good to have the LMG over a sniper rifle.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do a lot of different things with it as well. Suppressive fire if you do want to try and cross a gap. Different options available to you. Of course, those may not really end up mattering as they are eventually going to cross through the angles of William and Dave. And with 45 seconds left, it's going to have to be a pretty quick push, so they don't have time to rotate all the way around to the back where Shoot This is also waiting. Dark Tidings seem to be ready for any kind of approach that could come in here from Pantheon, and they probably have an accurate kill count, so they know there's only one left.
100% one on me.
Oh, certainly. Oh, Dunce almost with the pick there. Could have ended the round right there, but nope. Shoot This will say, nope, you don't get the kill. I do. I will end the round for the team. Thank you very much. As Dark Tidings end this first round, going up 1-0.
A nice job for them to bounce back off of a tough-to-swallow map 1 loss, especially on their map pick. Is not how they were obviously looking for that to go, and so now they do have to fight for this map too. And it's always interesting with these teams that don't necessarily have a ton of stats to dip into, and with maps like Abandoned that haven't been played a lot, at least in the VRML, you don't really know what you're picking into in some cases still for these teams. Pantheon may feel comfortable on Abandoned, but Dark Tidings could also have a good understanding of this map and be equally prepared, and they certainly looked ready with that defensive round, that great flash play around the corner to get the double, and then overall that defense in those final minutes. It definitely seems like Dark Tidings is familiar with the likes of Abandon, as you would expect from a team at this tier, right?
Oh, yeah. When you're at this level, you need to practice every map. You just can't say, I'm good at this map, we'll play this map, and maybe that one too. You need to know every map. You need to know every objective. You need to know everything about every little thing of these things. Even your gun. Like, you know every little mark on your gun when you're playing at high level. You gotta know everything, because one little lapse on some misinformation about a particular map, and that could not just cost you the round, it could cost you that map, even that match.
Yeah. Yep, it could indeed, and we'll see if Pantheon can muster up a defensive round of their own. We saw a lot of Marsoc rounds being traded on the close quarters of Shipyard, but maybe here with a little bit more range and Abandoned, we'll get back into that Volk advantage. Time will only tell as round 2 kicks off. Pantheon on defense. Dark Tidings attacking the same objective.
Indeed. This time we're getting a 3-man push onto Canyon. Level up, trying to lay down some suppressive fire, trying to get that early pick, but it just doesn't quite work out. And I think he got tagged.
Yeah, Prof nearly got the kill. Just over the shoulder of Absent-Minded as they almost had level lot there. So a risky bit of pre-firing, especially when you know that there is the threat of a ranged sniper. And they are fortunate that they don't lose that overwatch. Either way, William Dunce is beginning to charge forward here. Has thrown a nade up over the top and is already positioned at the front of the objective space.
Yeah, and Kalanon pushing really hard on the west side, and he has a drone out. He's trying to spot any defenders with his drone, just kind of to the northwest of the tank warehouse. And I lost sight of it.
Always hard to track a drone, but definitely a useful tool to throw out there. You can identify a lot of different positions, but it does also make it hard to identify a lot of the tucked in spots like we see here from Absent-Minded Prof. The drone's not going to identify Prof here tucked into the 2-story, and Dunce could be in danger if Prof peeks up and over and catches a line of sight down onto them.
No. But that drone is at the north apartments, and so Jester is more than likely been called out, and possibly even Phenom. So, and if you're running the drone, if you have a skilled drone operator, that 1 point that it costs the marksman is worth its weight in gold, and it's definitely worth the investment because you can have this game is all about information. How much of this map, how much about the enemy's positions do you know over top of your enemy? And so if you know more about the enemy's positions than they know about your spot, that's half the battle right there.
And Prof is just barely avoiding the line of sight here of Dunce. William definitely ID'd Prof as they did a brief peek. I think they saw the head, and so now they're just dialed in to this window, waiting for Prof to again peek up just a little bit too much. And there again, as the peak comes up, just briefly, William tries to transition, and it's such a big risk to be looking for this angle here. Tries to get level on, almost gets tagged by Dunce, and nobody goes down.
Yeah, the professor is now starting to second guess his position on that window there after receiving a heavy volume of heavy metal.
Yeah, and Prof.
No, he's behind a rock.
Thinks that they may have killed Levelot, but he's not 100%. And now that drone buzzing above Prof has
the shit out of that drone.
drawn his attention, trying to find an angle, but cannot. And Dark Tidings continue to sort of set up for their push as they now work their way up through that canyon.
Jester might just get a kill here. Let's shoot this. Oh, no, never mind. Crazy Dave gets a pick.
Down.
And that's the first kill of this round, and we're over 3 minutes into this round here.
Taking a lot of time to get here, but Phenom also taking some shots out is still able to hold that backside. Absent-Minded Prof now has to be worried about a lot of different threats from the bottom floor, from outside. There's a lot for him to worry about, and well, a trade's a trade. Yeah, Dunce. I think that's more favorable to Dark Tidings to root out Prof there. Definitely a big impact on the overall defensive hold of objective, and the push is going to continue.
Yeah, and just looking at the time, with 2 minutes left, in this map with these apartment buildings, just knowing your opponent has a skilled marksman like Professor there, you lose a lot of time just wanting to clear out each building, each room, each window, and we're seeing it here. Like, it's 1:43 left, and like I said, they only had 1 kill. There's only 1 kill at that halfway point, so
yeah.
I can't see him.
Pantheon doing a very good job on defense here, especially with that pick from Freck there onto Kibber Levelot.
Yeah, a very big pickup. Phenom can also call out some of these rotations, but Pantheon is down to just 2, and that could be a little bit less as Crazy Dave. Oh yeah, they're pushing in. The cap is...
He's in position. He's
no.
Oh. Great work by Anthony Dead there to identify the potential cap and get that good pick.
There's still plenty left from Dark Tidings, scaling on finds the pick from the backside from the south, finally pushing up after droning and piloting around for 5 minutes of that round. A good, definitely a very solid push from Dark Tidings there on a Marsoc. That was maybe a bit more coordinated than Pantheon were anticipating, and Absent-Minded Prof just not able to connect with any early picks. It really made it a little bit tougher to set up for success there, as Dark Tidings were able to close the gap, get into that close quarters, and then the kill on the Prof happens, and they just kind of lose control overall of the objective.
Yeah, and being a trade, I wonder if they were aware it was a trade at all. Like, they would have known that
you might not
died.
Yeah.
So they may have had an inaccurate kill count there.
Yeah, for sure. Those trades do make it a lot very challenging to know the accurate kill count, and if you have lost control of a certain side of the map or not. And so, either way, Dark Tidings again up 2-0. Something that we have seen, a familiar scene to us, and we shift objectives, and maybe this objective shift will be in the favor of Pantheon in a way that they can bounce back here and tie this up 2-2, just like they did in map 1. But either way, Dark Tidings are certainly playing pretty good here on Pantheon's map pick.
Oh yeah, no doubt right there. Now let's see how they play on this one. This one's a bit different. You have some open crosses to get to the objective, and there's not a lot of actual physical cover if you're trying to cap or defend.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of players sticking too close to the objective, interestingly enough. It's one of the few objectives that actually spreading out and trying to cover different angles tends to pay off a little bit more. And already a kill coming in as Anthony Dead takes those shots, gives away the spawn though, and that could lead to another quick refrag right there. William Dunt's able to catch that. Levelot continues to get aggressive, and Pantheon maybe could be off to a bad start here if Levelot can find this flank and get success with it.
And with Freck being only down, he can call out shoot this's position here. So even though he's down, he's still helpful to the team. He can still give the proper call-outs needed.
Oh my. Almost a kill. Fortunate enough that it wasn't. Dave goes down. Oh my goodness. Dark Tidings are picking apart this Pantheon offense as Phenom is suddenly into a 1v4. We're not even a minute in.
No, but Levelot needs to confirm these kills here. He tried to confirm Freck with one tap. Didn't quite work out, so now Freck and the Professor are just downed. They can still call out the enemy positions. And they could this could be a 4.5 v 3.5 right shortly, depending on... well, maybe
no.
not.
Another round, and a fast one at that. And you think about the mentality of it, Nomad. This is a tough point here for Pantheon. They had gotten a map win, and they had managed to come back on map 1 2-0, but now they're in a very different scenario. To come back 3-0 is a long road. You have to be undefeated in 4 rounds successfully. So, what do you think Pantheon are going to be trying to do here on this defense? Are they just going to go for are they going to try and say, well, whatever, we're going to map 3? Or are they going to try and muster up for this comeback?
No way. No, they're going to say, look, this is our map. This is our map to win. We need to... They'll probably play a little bit more conservative. Yeah. As you can see there, Dark Tidings were very aggressive. They went hard for those picks, just like Pantheon. And again, it just didn't quite work in their favor, so they're probably going to be hanging back. Well, actually, no, they're on defense now. So they're probably going to stay tucked in. Just wait for Dark Tidings to come to them. And at this level, with Diamond tier teams, you can't really be tilting. These guys here, they're strong-willed.
Yeah.
They are gonna treat every round like it matters. They're not gonna say, "Oh well, we'll just lose this one round. We'll give them map 2." We're not. That's not gonna happen. They're gonna say, "Look, we want this round. We want to win. We want to win now."
Yeah, especially being their map pick, that desire is certainly there. And we'll see what Pantheon throw out on defense for round number 4 of map 2 as we get back into the action. But so far, Dark Tidings have put on a dominating performance here on Abandon, and they are looking to lock in this second map and take us to a map 3 decider, which I am not going to complain about here at the desk. That is always when things get real exciting.
Doesn't matter if you're a commentator, you're a viewer, or you're a player. Map 3 deciders are always the biz. They're like, you cannot deny that there's more on the line, there's more pressure, it's just more fun when there's a map 3 decider.
I traded -1.
Straight up through the
Like
center.
traded.
Yeah, and it favors Pantheon, and that Freck can call out here. But a quick kill
There's one
coming
down
in
that
from
front
shoot
story.
this onto their ranged sniper. Absent-minded Prof is a big way to kick off this Marstock round, and it is kicking it off. 3 are dead already, but we're, again, not even into that first minute.
Yeah, and Anthony did ID the drone from Kalanon and did indeed shoot it down. As you can see, Kalanon is now having to rotate forward to catch up with his team there and to be part of the team and be part of this play.
Yeah, their droning, though, does certainly impact Dark Tidings. I mean, they have been playing great this round, and that drone seems to have been a key element. I don't know how much we saw it, or if we saw it at all on Shipyard, but it is definitely being utilized here in Abandon.
No, it was not used in Shipyard. If I am not mistaken, the Marstock drone is only allowed to be used on what's classified as a large map. So
You're right.
that'll be certainly the reason why I would not have seen the Marstock drone utilized in Shipyard.
Pantheon not opting for it, but it certainly seems to be a key element in the Dark Tidings offense, and another good pickup there for Pantheon to try and tie this thing up again. Anthony could res Phenom. Pushing in over there to get that res is not out of reach, but if they don't go for it, Dark Tidings have a lot of room to work with. Anthony's on objective, doesn't have a lot of angles into that south side. In the north also uncovered. Jester, I think, is identified on this rock, and if the communication is good, they're eventually going to get pinched.
Indeed, but so far, Gabriel LeBlanc and Shoot This have been hanging back in the 3-story there. Meanwhile, Kalanon is pushing pretty hard onto Canyon. He wants to move in, but he's gonna have to be careful. He'll slow down just a little bit, not a lot, but just enough so that his teammates get a chance to, because they're much closer to the objective.
Yeah, Jester.
What's the firefight going on?
Yeah, Jester doesn't know where these shots are coming from, and Dave can't, or excuse me, Care Bear can't connect from range with the M249, and so really it is going to come down to Kale eventually rotating behind Jester, which Jester should not be ready for, finding that kill, and then the push down to objective will begin.
And I'm thinking that Kale's already communicated with Love a lot about his position and where he's going, because they know where Jester is. And right now, Love a lot is just laying down suppressive fire, keeping Jester's head down, keeping him busy until Kalanon can just come in from behind and get the pick.
Yeah, in the meantime, Shoot This has smoked objective and is pushing up towards it. Anthony Dead's going to have to defend the cap attempt to Shoot This. Yeah, it's out. They don't need the cap, but they could be looking at 5-0 here as they do lock it in. And rounds matter at the end of the day. And so for Dark Tidings to lock in map 2 5-0, I mean, now the overall scoreline favors them 8-4.
Yeah, you cannot deny a cap anytime. You cannot say, oh, caps don't really matter. When you're up 3-0 or 3-3, if you have the opportunity to go for a cap, go for the cap.
Yeah.
Like I said, points matter.
That's an arguable point, good sir. I'm sure a lot of teams will say, no way, we go for the kills, don't go for the cap, go for the kills. It really is a team preference sort of thing. And some players do excel at punching in that code fast, and that was a quick cap. That was maybe a 5-second cap, which is not easy. I mean, we have seen throughout the start of this season, as we've watched a lot of new players come in, a lot of very long caps. And it is because capping is a hard skill to master. I mean, it is not something that is practiced often by players, but at this level, it is certainly something that has been practiced. Players have sort of mastered the craft of punching in a quick code, and it pays dividends because right there, Dark Tidings locked in map 2, and they're taking us to a map 3 decider. It's going to be their map pick. And Nomad, I hate to do this to you on your first cast here, but
No.
it is not going to be Snow Peak for map number 3. Your predictions have not come true here today. It has set you up for failure in predictions the entirety of your casting career. The juju has been cast. I'm just kidding. You're fine. But it is going to be Quarantine for map number 3. And I mean, I do make the comparison of Snow Peak and Quarantine in a lot of senses because it is also a mix of close and long range. Quarantine, a very good mix of close and long range, but Snow Peak also does have that variety too, and so not surprising that we also see this map being chosen here.
Yeah, and I'm glad they chose Quarantine actually, because this is my favorite map in the current map pool.
Yeah,
so
mine too.
seeing some Quarantine action, I will not be disappointed, even though my connoisseur rating as a map picker dwindles.
Yeah, we keep track of all that stuff internally, so
Yes.
you're going to be, yeah. But Quarantine, yeah, one of my favorites as well. And with how this series has been going, this should be pretty dang fun to tune into. And I'm looking at the rosters, and I'm not seeing any subs come in from either side, which is also what I would expect. Maybe a sub from Pantheon if they had an expert on Quarantine. You know, you've just lost pretty hard on map 2, but also still perfectly reasonable to stick to the 5 that you also won map 1 with. And so seems to be the case here for both teams as we do get ready to dive in to map number 3. But man, what a series, Nomad, for you to drop into, and what a series for everyone that is at home hanging out on Twitch watching to drop into. I really do appreciate all of you that end up stopping by and hanging out. I have seen some bits come through. I have seen some first-time chatters. We really do appreciate that. Obviously, we can't have direct interaction with chat, so sometimes if I answer questions late is because we're on a delay for competitive reasons. It's perfectly sound, but I will say a shout-out to Wilhelm, Wicked Talks, Nightmare 9887 would recommend Honor for people who played or /play Pop 1. It is a very different shooter, but it is fun, and if you like shooters, I would certainly recommend checking it out, especially since it goes on sale pretty dang often. I think it just had a sale, if it's not on sale right now, and so yeah, I would recommend picking up Onward for anybody that likes VR shooters. It's a different flavor, and it definitely can go right alongside your favorite Pop 1 or Pavlov, whatever sort of game you like shooting guns in. That's the spiel, though. We got to get back into the action. His shots are already ringing out. Care Bear Level Dot's hunting for some kills up onto the rooftop.
Impact. I don't think I got him.
Yeah, he's trying to find Absent Mind Professor, but could not quite find the pick there. But speaking of pick, Freck does find shoot this.
Yeah, and the aggression. You know, both teams have never really stopped being aggressive. Despite what the score is or what the strategies have been, we have seen aggression come in from Dark Tidings and Pantheon on defense and offense nearly every round, it feels like. And it has been working for sometimes. You know, right now, Pantheon have managed to get that early pick as Freak has peaked out. But if they continue to get aggressive, they could easily be scooped up by the likes of Levelot. William Dunce is also holding a late rotation angle. And so Freak is certainly not safe on getting over aggressive, as Dark Tidings are also seemingly now aware of that threat, as it only has taken us 2 maps to really figure out how both these teams play.
Yeah, both these teams are playing what they feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
This whole
Yep.
time, so it's worked for them and it's worked for the teams. And they're both just saying, like, I know how I like to play. I feel good about this. Let's just keep going with it because it seems to be working. And even if it doesn't work, it's still let's keep going.
Yeah, it's what's comfortable.
Yeah, if you play a particular style that you don't feel comfortable with, especially in a map 3 decider,
Yeah.
it's kind of the fear of, well, if I do it, I might lose the map for our team, and I might lose the match for our team. So it's stick with your guns and just go for it.
Freak here is staying disciplined. Despite their early aggression, they have then since tucked in, tossed a C4 to their right, and are waiting for the push from Dark Tidings, which could pay off if William Dunce isn't ready for someone here on this corner. They could try and fly out in through that center area and be easy pickings for the likes. Oh no, oh freaking.
Oh, and a trade.
Yeah, they missed the initial cross. Dunce is able to repeak. The trade again favoring Pantheon there, though, because while Freak is down, they can also still call out a lot of different things. They can call out this rotation from Kale and On right now.
But whether Freck lives or dies from here on out, he did a fantastic job playing that spot. He's already gotten 2 kills for the exchange of, his life now. And
One center burn,
look,
second
3 minutes
storage is
gone. There's only 3 minutes left, so
Yeah.
he did a fantastic job playing that location.
Meanwhile, in the south, Levelot and Dave are rotating in, and we could see an exchange between Jester and Levelot soon enough, as I think both of them have communicated to each other that they know where they
they're
are.
both saying hello, how
Yeah.
are you? Exchanging pleasantries as they try to shoot each other.
It's the sportsmanship of Onward that you love to see.
Oh yeah.
Hello, good sir. I'm about to come up these stairs and shoot you. Don't mind me.
One maybe in front of AC.
Always polite.
In the end, they are still friends. They're still buddies in the community. So
Yep.
whether you're enemies or friends or allies, doesn't matter if you shoot them in the face or you beat them down with a cap. You're still good friends. It's always a good time, and
Yep.
that's why I love this league so much.
Yep, it is community driven, which always means the community comes first, and you get a lot of good sportsmanship and great interactions like we've seen here so far today. But regardless of that sportsmanship, it's also been a fantastic series. It's a close one as Levelot does decide to challenge these stairs. Despite Jester being friendly, they're looking for the kill, and they're not going to find it. Jester able to survive even what seemed to be pre-fire from Levelot around the corner. Can't survive the duo of Kale and On and Dave.
No. And Kale, if he keeps going to the west a bit more, he may bump into Phenom. She was holding a really nice angle onto the engine inside impact building, watching the north there. I think Kale is now on the scaffolding, just looking for a pick with his rifle there.
And then you have Dave working the pinch. And so if Kale and Dave can sync up, they have this 2v3 opportunity in front of them with an objective that is not easy to defend. These all the objectives over inside this building are challenging as they have a lot of different cap angles. You have to watch the upstairs, you have to watch your basement, you have to watch your outdoors, you have to watch the inside. There's just a lot of potential cap spots, and Dave could potentially find one if they do work through here. Get Dave, get Prof, who knows what this push
Dave
could
might
look like.
find Anthony here if he keeps pushing like this.
I think Anthony's on the
Oh, yeah,
other
you
side
can
of the plane.
Oh,
Oh,
well, never
and
mind.
that doesn't
Kale.
work out as Kale finds it. And now the front
objective's
of
now
objective. Yeah, the front is completely open. Prof is there, but they're not checking.
Tablet out.
And the tablet is out.
Here's Cap. This is Cap.
They're not shutting it down.
Oh.
Wow, and Pantheon losing that outer edge defense, not aware that they had lost that control, allow for one of those capping angles I was talking about to open up. And, well, what is this? 5, 6, 7 unanswered points now have come through from Dark Tidings as we have got into the back half of this series.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but it happens. It happens to the best of teams. Best thing to do is just short-term memory. Forget about it. Take that deep breath. If you have a drink next to you, take a swig.
Yep.
Whether it be a juice or whatever, just get it out of your mind. If you start having these negative thoughts, it impacts your game just like so. Yeah, just shake it off. Just like Taylor Swift, shake it off.
Yep, maybe throw on some Taylor Swift and shake it up. But either way, Dark Tidings have kicked off this map 3 perfectly. This is their choice. I mean, think about all of the benefits here. It's their map pick. They start off on Marsoc, which in a lot of cases on Quarantine is considered a disadvantage. They have an objective that is very capable, and then they execute on their play. They find the picks they need. While they're down 2-3, great coordination on the pinch. They set up for the Overwatch suppressive fire, and they coordinated that play on the outside together. That wouldn't have been able to get executed if that suppressive fire isn't coming in from the roof. Absent-minded prof maybe then checks the outside, and so there's just a whole different scenario there if those two aren't working together. And a really good play there to get them the cap. And so, you know, a bit of an error on Pantheon's side, not double-checking the coverage and making sure that they had that side covered, but also good execution coming in from Pantheon. And that is really what you end up getting. What gets you a win here is you execute on a mistake that a team has made. You know, at this level, those mistakes tend to be few and far between. And Pantheon, like we've said before, are very capable of sort of plugging those holes, so to speak, and bouncing back. And so, not counting them out just yet. We did have a brief pause for a quick reset on Dark Tidings' side, not a sub. And we should be back into the action, well, right now, as we dive in to round number 2. It's your first time, Nomad, but the math is always an issue here, especially when you're announcing those rounds. You got to do some quick math on the fly sometimes.
Yeah, when you get those caps in, it can throw you for a loop.
You know, you've done plenty of casting so far. I know a lot of folks out there have appreciated those scrim casts that you've been hopping into, and happy to have you on board here. So far, it's been a great cast with you on at my side, Nomad. Hats off to you. I'm sure the folks in chat and watching are enjoying it. I know I am, and well, the action has been pretty dang good too. And it's about to kick off here as Levelot's pushing up onto the hill, onto this roof.
A nice pick from Jester onto Kalanon. Great early pick here. And I just want to comment, I'm enjoying this. I'm glad you tagged me along here, took me under your wing. I am just having a ball here. Just like the players here, there's like Levelot and, oh, actually no, Care Bear got Jester. Not much love there, I guess, from Freck there.
But look at this. They are setting up for the attack onto objective. They have the advantage. They have the 4-3. The smokes are out, and they are continuing to come in here. Anthony Dead is going to push up. Are they going to be ready for Dave on this corner?
Nope.
And that's an interesting corner, isn't it? A very off-meta position. Usually they're tucked inside into those windows, not on the outside edge here.
Yeah. And that's what played to Dave's benefit there, because they're expecting them to be in the windows, and that's what you need to do in these higher levels, is play the off-meta spots.
Oh, the comms coming in here for Dark Tidings. This Freak was going to enter inside. They got called out, and a great reaction coming in there from Shoot This to find that line and get that pick. And now we're into a 3-3, and Pantheon have to maybe take a bit of a pause here and try and reassess their approach. They'll allow that south swing to impact this push and try and time it.
Jester. No, other way around, sorry.
A big pick too as Jester clears up the west, cuts it down to just 2, and now they do have some potential weak points here. If they do lose William inside, a quick cap could come under the nose of Dave.
Oh, and just as Dunce gets picked off, Dave is on objective. He's in a good spot to defend it.
Yeah,
they have to enter his line of fire, just like Jester did right there. So basically, the cap is not going to happen. They have to kill Dave. Can't see it being any way around unless there's a flashbang.
Yeah, they can't get up to the 2. No, you can't get up. You can't go up that engine anymore, and they're not going to get to the 2-story undetected. So Dave does actually have the best position. The trouble is, of course, they're incredibly exposed as their back is completely open to anybody that wants to shoot it. It's just, it may pay off here as Pantheon is not pushing that side.
An almost perfectly placed smoke there. Dave still has a last sight to where Venom came from. But it's forcing Dave to pre-fire and just to confirm there's no one there. So still a very good smoke grenade nonetheless.
Yeah, it is distracting and doing its job. Phenom is able to find Dave over that corner of the wall. The 3/4 coverage not enough. Pantheon, with nearly a cap back, do put up the Marsoc round with an equally impressive Marsoc push.
Indeed. And one thing I can especially say on the first round this map, one thing that maybe we don't mention too terribly often is the communication within these teams here. You do not get to this level by just not using the radio. You have to use that radio. You have to use that tablet. Yeah. Communication is just the most important thing of this game. I've had newer players, newer teams ask me, what's a good loadout? What is a good strat? It's simply use the radio. Learn to use the radio. Learn to communicate with your teammates, and you'll learn how to play the game right. Doesn't matter what you have for a loadout. Doesn't matter what you have for a strat. If you cannot communicate with your teammates, you're no longer playing as a team. You're now playing as 5 individuals. So it's good to see these teams use the radio and communicate often, and it's showing in the scoreboard. It's showing in their wins.
Yeah, and especially in a game like Onward, you obviously, like you said, you need communication to compete at a high level, and you do see that in other esports as well. But with Onward, it's even more important because there's no mini-map, there's no indicators, there's no kill feeds. What you are communicating between your team is the only source of information you have. And so, yeah, it is, if not, like you said, the most important element of a good team playing successfully. And, well, let's see if Dark Tidings can lock in this series. They've managed to start off with a good 2-1 cap, but a great answer back from Pantheon maybe sets them on their back foot. As we switch objectives, Pantheon go on defense, Dark Tidings back on the attack. We see the drone coming out early as well, and already a shot coming in here from Levelot. And shoot this.
Echo 1 south. 2
early picks already on a objective, tank courtyard objective, which can be difficult to defend, and when you're down to a 3v5, it just makes it 3 times as hard.
Yeah, that's a big pick. Anthony Dead defending the medical warehouse. If that gets overrun, it's basically curtains for this defense. The angles that gives them are very powerful onto anybody that wants to try and defend the objective. So Anthony Dead going to be a very key element in defending this objective. But if you do look at the overhead, the push does seem to be focused into the north.
Yeah, and you see the drone, it is kind of east of the north building, and it's kind of there to guide William Dunce as he makes his flank here. It looks like he's going to be trying to cap from within, some people call it embassy, some call it mall. So it looks like he's going to try to be the capper, and they're going to have to take out Jester, but with the drone there, it's going to be a clear path for William Dunce due to Kalinon's experience with the drone.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a super helpful tool for this Dark Tidings offense on their pushes. It is something that we continue to see be utilized by them effectively, and definitely something that teams are going to have to be wary of when they go up against the likes of DT. Either way, they have been also just playing good, coordinated, in sync. Like you said, communication on point. And as this flank comes through, I wonder if it will find success. It needs to end with William Dunce alive and Jester dead, though.
Yes.
I guess that's where it starts.
And and we did hear some shots fired from Anthony Den. He was kind of shooting. He thought he saw someone at the north rooftop or AC rooftop, depending on what you call it. There was really no one there, and he did call out that he thought he saw someone there. So it's a little bit of misdirection from his teammate that could prove costly.
And, I was on board with you. I thought William was going to end up coming in through that back door and try and go for the cap, but they're committing to a much longer rotation south. And it makes me wonder what the intended overall plan is here for Dark Tidings. Is Will going to pinch from the south with his team as they push in from the center, or are we going to see that attempt from that back door to go for the cap? It looks like it's going to be more of a pinch around the objective space, but only time will tell. 3 minutes left on the clock, and Pantheon in a 3v4.
Yeah, Williams' rotation does have me scratching my head. But then again, I'm a bit of a capper. If I have a chance to go for cap, I'll take any route I take. So I am scratching my head a little bit from there, but we'll find out shortly. Actually, we'll find out right now as some of the professor is now down. that could be the play right there.
Yeah, gets rid of that central defense, and now they do have to worry about Anthony up on the 2-story. The drone is there, though, and it's definitely going to identify Anthony up top here. The confirmation shot's there as Prof goes down fully, but not another kill, and so we're still into a 2v4. But now Anthony's trapped up on this top floor. He can't get back inside, and if Will rotates there from the south, they will have a line down onto Anthony. And so this is just a great play from Dark Tidings to force these shots and get rid of Anthony dead on the roof.
Almost if you could see the future there. William Dunst does get the pick on Anthony dead.
I've watched a few Onward games.
Just a few?
Either way, a great play for Dark Tidings ends in a round win, and they push up 3-1 now. They are looking very good here, and that, again, I mean, the coordination, the comms is very evident that they are on point. You know, as there was 3 lasers up onto that roof. As soon as that whoever it was on the roof pushed out, you know, the drone spotted them, and it was pretty much a done deal at that point.
Yeah, Anthony Day was on hospital rooftop there, or medical warehouse, I think what you called it there.
Yeah.
And that's just the difference between a good call out and a, I'm not going to say a bad call out, but not as good call out. Anthony did there. Inaccurate, yes, that'd be a good word for it. Obviously, they knew where Anthony Dead was on rooftop. They called him out, and they got the pick. Where Anthony Dead thought he saw someone on north rooftop, proved to be false at the time, and a bit misleading for his teammates. And I can understand why he thought someone was there. When you're under the gun, under the pressure, you may think you see someone. You may think you saw a movement, like a pixel move. It's happened to me before.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it never happened. But you see that one little movement, you think it's an enemy, you shoot at it, and you think, oh, I think there's someone there. I think I got him too. And no.
Not only are you giving away your position by taking those shots, you're also giving misinformation to your team, which then could lead to potential picks for that defense. And so, yeah, really can be, like we said, the communication can be incredibly helpful, but if it's not accurate, it can also be incredibly harmful. And so, definitely a double-edged sword in a lot of cases, but not often do you see inaccurate comms with these teams. They have callouts for all the positions. They have them all memorized, and they're quick callouts too. You know, they're not a hospital rooftop. You know, I don't think anyone's going with that long callout in game. But either way, we'll see what we get out of Pantheon on offense as their backs against the wall. The map 3 decider on the line.
Indeed. And Cena looks like a 2-1-2 split from Pantheon here. 2 going to the hospital, 1 going to center burning. And nice pick there for Anthony Dead already onto Care Bear Love-A-Lot. And as I continue, there was 2 now going towards the very north warehouse actually. Unless you have a different call for it. And another pick onto shoot this.
Yeah, Prof able to snipe that one up, and Dark Tidings push out and get aggressive on defense, and it definitely hurts them. They are now in a 5v3, and while the aggression may seem warranted, they have a nice 2-point lead. They're in a comfortable position to potentially lock in the series. It could also set them up for a 3-3 here, as they are now very weak around objective, and Kalanon is far away and dead. And so now with just Dave and Dunce alive, if Dave doesn't rotate quickly, they are far away from the objective. Smokes could come in. There is potential for some damage to be done here as Dunce does get a key pick. Tries to rotate, can't find Anthony Dead. And now Dave getting on the board, but not for long as those shots come in from the north. Can they get the frag on the Phenom? They can't. Pantheon.
Nice.
In about 30 seconds of chaos, managed to come out on top and continue to stay in this 1-3-2.
Bravo to Pantheon, and let's get a round of applause for NightFiree there to keep up with the action there on the commentary.
Yeah, well, definitely fast, but not too fast, as all the kills come in one at a time, and Pantheon end up the victors. If you do look at that KD feed, it is a little bit interesting because we've had that cap. It almost is favoring Pantheon right now. You know, if you take away that 2-point lock-in there, Pantheon have won 2 rounds via kills, and so they are a little bit higher up on that overall overall scoreboard there, which is an interesting note, but doesn't mean that they have won this map by any means. Dark Tidings have put up some great Marsoc rounds, and we now change objectives back over to that rubble building, but this time inside the plane, and again, this objective very capable.
Yeah, and there's two sneaky ways to cap this. There's a spot in between the plane and the building, although it's much harder now. They did move the objective just a tad bit, where obviously, just like a gun, if your tablet is touching any kind of building or anything like that, it'll be clipping and you cannot utilize it. So you have to hold your tablet in a very specific spot.
Yeah.
And I learned of another spot in a cast where there's a hole in the fuselage. You stick your tablet in that little hole, and you can cast from there as well.
Yeah, it is. I've seen flash caps from the roof. There's been all kinds of interesting approaches on this objective, and we'll see what we get from Dark Tidings as Pantheon again have their backs against the wall and have to muster up this comeback now, or they'll lose the series.
Indeed, but I just kind of peered into the comps just a tad bit, and it doesn't sound like they're too upset or too worried at all about the ideas. They're still pretty laid back. They're enjoying themselves, which you want to see that in a team. You don't want to have people yelling at one another, because, like I said, communication, good communication is great. Bad communication, well, it's hard on a team. So seeing these players enjoying themselves, having a good time is great, because honestly, these are not professional players. They're not getting paid to play, so seeing them have a good time and whatnot is always a good sign, because if you're not having fun, honestly, there's almost no point. Because so good to see they're having fun playing. I'm having a good time casting. Hopefully you guys watching here are having a good time as well, because honestly, you guys are the reason why we're casting this here, is for you guys' entertainment, and even for these guys' entertainment as well.
Yeah, you do say there's nothing to play for, but that I have to disagree with, especially for these teams at this level. The prize pool ever growing, as it is now well over $7,000 from our sponsors. They end up contributing to that prize pool, and so a big shout out to all of our sponsors. You've seen them ticking on your screen as Levelot Finds Freak. They are ProTube, VR, VR Cover, VR Wear, HyperX, and Border Foods. You can find out more information about those sponsors on vrml.com/sponsors. But there is something on the line here at the end of the day. At the end of the season, we get to that tournament. They need to be in the top 8 in the ladder. And so at this stage, every win matters to get you set up for that tournament. So both of these teams definitely want to lock in a dub here when it matters most, as they are pretty dang close in MMR.
Yeah, at this point, this early in the season, they can still compete to be in that top 7 to advance to the postseason. If they don't, they still have a chance to play for that 8th wildcard position in a 2-week tournament known as the Challenger Cup. But then again, this is week 5 of a 15-week regular season, so we're still a ways away from that ever happening.
Yes, we are indeed. That is something to look forward to, but not quite yet. We still have plenty of regular season action ahead of us, and if it's like this, I will be certainly pleased. We now get into what I think may be the execution phase for this Dark Tidings setup, as Levelot starts to work their way up to that nose of the plane. And although Pantheon have lost one early, they stayed very disciplined and tucked in.
Yeah, they're holding pretty good angles here. No one's really overexposing themselves. And it looks like everyone here is watching everyone else's back, which is what you want to see here. And an almost nade kill from William Dunn onto Jester. And nice little finish off the AK-5C, as well as a pick onto Absent Mind Professor with another AK-5C. This time to the head, though. Nice instant kill.
Yeah, and Pantheon not in a good spot as Phenom is getting naded on the roof. Anthony dead, the only one in that objective area defending. And I think Phenom has recognized this as you saw them check their tablet aware that it's only one on objective, and
doing
now
that.
they're stacking up here as Phenom rotates back, goes down. Shoot this
Shoot
is
this is gonna
Tablet
cap.
out. Yeah, they're going for that exact spot that you called out earlier. They're looking for the cap as Dead finds one. Shoot this. Are they going for it? Yes, they are, and
He
Dead
is.
is not going to check.
No. Oh,
Just a
near
matter of
nade
time.
kill.
Oh, he did see
And
it.
he had swatted him.
Oh, no.
Oh, but not
Almost.
in time.
So close. Dark Tidings lock in map 3 with a cap just like they did map 2 and take the series with an overall scoreline of 13-6. That's some quick math right there.
There you go.
I mean, Nomad, your thoughts on the overall series here today? It certainly was a fun one.
Oh, yes, indeed. Lots of action.
Yep.
No matter where you looked, it was
Yeah.
always action going on somewhere. GG's to both teams. They both played very well here. Definitely brought an entertaining show here. Definitely glad I came along here and casted this match. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of action, lots of aggression. Yeah.
Happy to have you on for the cast here today, and definitely a great game to tune into for week 5 as we come back from a bit of a break. Both of these teams came in ready to play. We had a great couple of maps, and like you said, happy to be here casting this one today. A quick shout out again to everyone that was tuning in. Mission 22, 404 Goose, Brandon J1, Cirquillo. We all appreciate you dropping by and hanging out. If you are new to the channel, please feel free to hit that follow button. We have regular broadcasts on this channel throughout the course of the week. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST, Sundays at 12, we have broadcasts on Venues, which is a application you can download on your Quest or Quest 2, and also over on twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague. So be sure to follow that channel as well if you are enjoying this action, and come back for more VRML probably tomorrow if I were to wager. There may very well be another cast. You can always check online as well by heading over to VRML.com. You can find all of the links to all of our social media, as well as when games will be coming up and who they will be cast by. Nomad, thanks again for tuning in. I look forward to seeing more casts from you this season, as I'm sure a lot of the folks here tuning in do today. But that will be it from us here on the desk. My name has been NightFiree with 2 E's, my co-caster Nomad. We will see you all later this week with more VRML action. But until then, stay classy.
Good night, guys.